Mike Westwick is a fire information officer with the government of the Northwest Territories. He joins me now from downtown Yellowknife. Mike, what is the latest on this fire burning near Fort Laramie?
What we know right now is that the fire has picked up a little bit in activity. There's not a clear assessment on whether it's breach containment at this time. The high winds have meant that our aircraft are unable to fly. We'll obviously be following this very closely as the night unfolds, and more updates will be issued as needed. There's no indications currently at last update of immediate threat to Fort Laramie, and our crews have been working hard under a precautionary state within Fort Laramie to set up structure protection in the community.
Now, I understand that if the fire does breach the containment that you have now, your crews will have to pull back. Is that correct?
It's correct that crews are not actually active in the fire area currently as a result of the winds. That's why they're in Fort Laramie, setting up that structure protection at a safe distance as a precautionary measure, I would add, once again. So they are working to do that because under current wind conditions, when fire moves under those wind conditions, it would be unsafe to have crews working on direct action on that. So this is the measure that we're taking going forward. And of course, we've been hitting it with aircraft as much as we can. Currently, they are unable to access that fire due to these wind conditions. So certainly a challenging situation. I'm sure more updates to come. Currently, again, I'll hit home that there's no indication of immediate risk to Fort Laramie, and we're working closely with the hamlet and emergency management partners to ensure everybody's kept abreast of the latest.
Yeah, no, thank you for being clear about that. People are not having to leave Fort Laramie. This is simply a notice to people to be aware that there is a fire burning nearby. It is simply a notice and not an alert. Mike, the Highway 7 out of Fort Laramie south is also closed right now because of, I understand, a different fire burning in British Columbia. Can you tell us anything about that fire?
I wouldn't be able to give you specific details, but however, we do have indications from the BC Wildfire Service that they have teams working on a lot of those northern holdover fires. This is related to that. So the highway has been shut down for safety purposes. The BC Wildfire Service is keeping in consistent contact with us about this stuff. And I would just refer you to the Wildfire Agency for the latest on things like size and potential risk there. I'm aware of some evacuation communication that's went out on that front, but you know, that work will continue by the province of BC.
So you mentioned that, you know, we are seeing an extreme wind event. We can see it outside of our studios here in Yellowknife. The wind is definitely picking up. So it's not just the Decho region facing these high winds. The town of Hay River has put a total fire ban in place until the wind event has passed. Can you paint us a picture of what's happening in the South Slave?
Yeah, certainly through the Hay district, kind of the area surrounding Hay River there, they're seeing very similar weather patterns to that in the Decho region. You know, wind gusts ranging from 50 kilometers an hour up to 85 kilometers an hour, you know, expected through tonight. Wind event is expected to start to lessen tomorrow. I should mention in the region there are two new fires in the vicinity of Hay River and Enterprise that we are investigating currently, assessing. One of them is, you know, opposite the Aurora Pellet Mill yard there. We're going to be assessing it and actioning it as needed. The town of Hay River has taken action on a fire that flared up under these winds on Patterson Road. So that work is good. They've indicated that it's contained, but you know, smoke will be visible in the area as a result of these. Additionally, there is, I should go back to the Decho while I have you here. There is a fairly large and significantly active wildfire between the Enterprise and Highway 7 junctions on Highway 1. It's suspected to have been an overwinter fire that has now flared up, previously undiscovered one. And that is has the potential to impact the highway. It's burning on both sides of Highway 1 over there. We've got teams on the way to assess it further and look at appropriate actions for that moving forward. So a lot of activity today We did know today was going to be a big fire day if there was fire that got on the landscape, and that's playing out for sure.
Now, Mike, I'm seeing a note here that Highway 1 has actually been closed because of a wildfire between Jean Marie River Access Road and the Highway 3 junction. Is that the fire that you're mentioning there that's also near Enterprise?
Yes, that's right.
All right.
That's correct. Well, that's not near Enterprise. It's quite a ways from Enterprise. It's kind of in the middle of between the Highway 7 and Enterprise Junction, so kind of between there. It's about 70 or so kilometers at the smoke report level when we receive it there, estimated away from Jean Marie River, as a note there.
So, and you mentioned that there were 2 new fires that have started. Are there any fires that have started outside of the Decho or South Slave that you're going to be watching this weekend?
Certainly, there was an additional fire that we're just kind of starting to get information here on. Actually, a suspected person-caused fire about a kilometer outside of Sumba, and that fire is being actioned immediately by ground crews right now. There's not a risk to the community. The wind is blowing away from there. There's significant burned area surrounding it from last year. As you'll recall, there was an ignition operation to protect that community. But at any rate, our crews are taking action in that area to action that fire and keep there from being potential of that becoming an issue down the road.
Anything else, Mike, that we should know about before the weekend?
So what I would say is that with the extreme weather conditions that we're seeing out there right now, it is especially important for everyone watching here to do everything they can to keep person-caused fires off the landscape. While the wind event is expected to die down a bit heading into the weekend, we're still expecting to see very hot, dry weather across much of the south of the territory. So never leave your fires unattended. If you've done brush burning in your yard in the past, really go check those areas and make sure that they're completely out. Soak, stir, and soak any fire that you might have outside, and repeat that until the air is cool to the air above is cool to the touch. And most critically, we really strongly urge people to avoid using fire in areas where fire danger is high or extreme, which is going to be looking like a lot of the south of the territory right now. Follow nwtfire.com for more updates and to get fire danger in your region.
Mike, as always, we appreciate you being on the show to bring us these updates. I hope the weekend is calmer for you than today was, and for everybody across the territory. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.